I kind of like the more raw aspect where people are almost just tuning into it, but, without it being too slick. But, I mean, ultimately, whatever you feel like.
I feel like I'm talking slow because I keep getting messed up with the stupid monitor. It's gonna bug me. I need to focus and just ignore that it's happening.
That's how I feel in real life.
I'm gonna start it as if Mario's not here, and then I'm gonna be like, "Hey, David, so Mario's here," and then I'm gonna make you pop up on screen.
It's a new friend.
Okie dokie.
You have made a new friend.
Achievement unlocked.
So, as we've been talking about this cyberpunk direction for the game, of course, the next thing to think about would be what the art is going to look like.
Of course.
The art's going to give us our... Yeah. The art is going to give us our... The art's going to give the first impression for the game. And when we looked at a bunch of those games last time that were on Kickstarter, a lot of the art was pretty similar. Very kind of traditional illustration style, but was definitely cyberpunk. And then there was those couple of games where the box art was really cool, but then all the components were kind of sort of iconography. Yeah. So I know we've worked with him a lot, but I like his stuff. So I was going to bring in Mario and see what his take is on the cyberpunk aesthetic and some of the stuff we've come up with, and just see if maybe he's a good fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's bring Mario on. Hi, Mario.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, it's Mario.
So what's up?
So, well, I mean, I texted you a little bit that we were going to be changing Crew for Hire a lot. Steampunk. David and I decided steampunk just wasn't really going to work as far as sellability and relatability to gamers, something that feels familiar and something that they'll buy into. And we started with it was either going to be cyberpunk or sci-fi, and sci-fi turned out to be maybe a little too much in world building and alien species, and it would get too heavy too fast. So we really liked the idea of Crew for Hire turning into something more cyberpunk.
Oh, cool.
And it kind of made me think about some of those the vector pieces you've done with the big robots with all the wires and cables and mechanics, and then little glowy bits every so often.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess I was just looking for we wanted to see if we could pitch you the game, see what your take is on it, and see if you'd be interested in partnering with us to make the art and take this to something like Kickstarter.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, sure.
Cool. Okay. David, you want to give the pitch?
In a world.
I feel like I'm dominating the conversation. I feel like David needs to say something.
No, you're a good front man. You're I mean, did you play Crew for Hire? I can't remember if you played any of the evolutions.
No, I was trying to remember. I was no, I did not.
Okay.
Well, he was there when he saw the map.
Right. I knew
and he did some of the character illustrations and stuff. So he's seen the components.
Yes, and I've seen it played. I've seen it played, and that's about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as, I guess, we're trying to build a game where... Where's a good starting point here? This is where I don't have an elevator pitch. I kind of jump into the middle and go, wait, back up. I have to explain this and that. This is why Ben usually goes. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and defer to Ben still.
Okay. I guess as a quick, here's what the game is like.
Yeah.
Crew for Hire is a game where you are a captain of a ship and you have a crew, and it's kind of a light deck builder. So you start with a little starter deck of people that belong to your ship and some basic equipment.
Okay.
And each turn you get cards in your hand that you can play and try to accomplish actions that'll earn you points.
Gotcha.
So it was originally very much inspired by like the Firefly board game. So you're picking up jobs, and it's a lot of like transport this or go here and rough up these people and just accomplish a task at a specific place. So you're flying around the world and accomplishing tasks. You get points. There was a monetary system that kind of helps keep players in check, where they're having to use some of their cards to trade for other things, and then they could use cards to accomplish tasks, and they had to manage every turn with the resources they had from their deck. And they could build up their deck as they went. Hang on. Turn that on silent. And if you remember on the map for the steampunk game, there was like a portal that would go to a place called the Ruined World.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like our apocalyptic parallel universe where you could go and get aether crystals that were very valuable, or find like treasures, bring them back to the real world and be at an advantage. And so it's basically an adventuring game that involves having multiple people, some kind of leader, some kind of ship, and a bunch of locations that you can run around to and accomplish tasks or move things around.
Gotcha.
So when it came to translating this into Cyberpunk, he's over there throwing a fit. He's rolling around on the windowsill. Are you done?
No.
Yeah?
No. He does have a big old Stewie Griffin head on him.
And instead of flying around the world, we want to sort of reduce our geographical scope to a city that has an outlying wasteland, sort of like Judge Dredd, where you have the mega city and then the wasteland outside of that.
Yeah, okay.
And we hadn't quite come up with something, or no, we did. We talked about the crystal thing, right? Yeah. So instead of like aether crystals, we still wanted some form of like special element. And David had this idea that there would be these rare crystals that you could get on the other side of like a wormhole singularity instead of a time portal. And these crystals are like, can be used to purify anything. The air, water, like it leaches the toxins out of anything. Because in a cyberpunk world, you know, Blade Runner had acid rain.
Yeah.
If you have a wasteland, there's probably a lot of pollution and stuff that caused that to happen. And then, of course, just a mega city is going to have a lot of pollution in general.
Right.
So we wanted that to represent kind of the special commodity that players can get their hands on has a high value.
Okay, cool.
And I guess we'll just jump right into having the conversation about art in general. We obviously can't do the art for the entire game before we go to Kickstarter.
Sure.
But we want to do enough before we go to Kickstarter.
Okay. So David and I looked at a bunch of Cyberpunk games that were already out on Kickstarter. And I sent you the links right before the call. So I know you probably haven't had time to look at them, but most of the art on those is kind of the traditional digital illustration, sort of realistic looking characters and like insane amount of detail on every little thing. And we don't want that. Gotcha, okay.
We were hoping for something that could stand out as far as art style when looking at everything that comes out on Kickstarter and kind of that style that a lot of people just go for. David and I feel like having something that's really different from that could maybe help us grab attention of people that are already on Kickstarter that might, come on and be a backer for it.
Gotcha.
So there was this other game that's not Cyberpunk called Leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of this one on Kickstarter?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
So I really liked the sort of like cell shaded, vectorized kind of characters that almost looked like the producers of Samurai Jack could have done it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I was thinking something sort of like that. Do you think something like that could work for Cyberpunk?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I think as long as there's recognizable themes in there, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, I guess we can tell you about some of the world building that we've done, and maybe get some of your opinions on some of these some of the looks and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I sent you a link to a doc that is basically going to be our world Bible.
Okay.